everybody, thank you so much for being here. I'm Teresa and this is Lost My Thread, and today I'm going to tell you all about my sewing plans for this summer. I don't know about you guys, but summer is probably my favorite time of the year to sew for. I am very much a fan of lightweight fabrics, swishy, drapey fabrics, bright, bold colors, skirts and dresses, so it's very much my kind of time of year. I am going to add some chapters, so if you want to skim ahead to a different project, if you're not interested in the one that I'm talking about at the moment, please do feel free to do that. I've got quite a lot planned and I'm going to just crack on and tell you about them. The first project I'll tell you about actually came from my me-made May reflections. So during the month of May, I wore me-made clothes every day, took some photos, and at the end I did a whole reflection video. I'll put a link to it if you want to check that out as well. But one of the things that I found that I really loved wearing that month were my Winslow Culottes by Helen's Closet Patterns. This is a really popular pattern, so I'd be surprised if you weren't that familiar with it, but it is basically a pair of culottes. The design of these, you've got these really nice big deep pleats at the front and at the back. You've got some really nice decent side seam pockets. There's a continuous waistband around the top of these with an invisible zip in the back. Because of the big pleats, you end up getting these really fantastically huge wide legs at the bottom, and I feel like you really get the best of both worlds with these culottes where you're kind of wearing a skirt and kind of wearing trousers. So you feel like you're wearing a skirt and that you have all this lovely floaty fabric going all around you when you're moving around, but you also have something between your legs so that you don't have to worry about a breeze blowing your skirt up. You don't also have to worry about a hot sweaty day if you're getting a little bit sticky between the legs. So they really kind of do everything, I feel like, these trousers, and you get this really great breeze moving up them on a hot day as well. So I really wanted to make another pair of them. In the original photos for this pattern, there were quite a few different versions, and there was one that I always loved that kind of stuck out to me that was kind of a geometric, it looked like it was a viscose fabric. My guess is viscose challis because I think Helen from Helen's Closet is a big fan of viscose challis, but I really loved the look of these. I didn't necessarily want to have exactly the same, but I liked that kind of geometric look. I liked how floaty and drapey and lightweight those looked, and I felt like I wanted to pick a fabric that had a similar kind of a feel but maybe a bit more my style. The fabric I ended up choosing for this one was actually a fabric that was designed in part by the fabric godmother. This might be familiar to you. I will say that I know that this was a really popular fabric. I want to show you the scale, so I'm trying to not go too in close, but you can see kind of the scale compared to me. But it's basically, it's like a tile effect design. So you can see that there's this square grid kind of a pattern and this floral effect there as well. There are parts of it that are a bit faded, which gives it a really cool vintage look. This was actually, the design of this fabric was based on 1970s Italian tiles, which I think makes perfect sense. I really love the different shades of blue on here. I love that you've got both the kind of square grid geometry there, but also that floral print on there as well. And this is a viscose crepe fabric, not sure if I said that, but because it's a viscose crepe, it's got really nice, little bit of weight to it, good amount of movement, and I think this is going to be super fun in a pair of culottes. The next thing I want to tell you about are a pair of Jenny shorts that I'm planning. So the Jenny shorts are actually a part of the Jenny overalls pattern from Closet Core Patterns. I did a whole long series of videos about me reviewing the Jenny overalls and comparing them with a different pair of overalls. But the key thing with this is when you buy the Jenny overalls pattern, you also get the option of just making the trousers, the long wide leg trousers, or you can make a shorts version as well, with or without the bib for the overalls. And I really love the look of the shorts in particular, and I felt like they would be so good in the summer. I made a pair of Chi-Town chino shorts at the end of last summer. It was kind of at the tail end of last summer in this really wonderful stretch denim fabric. It's like a coral pink, and I frayed the bottom edge of the shorts. I didn't get a huge amount of wear out of them last year because I made them a little bit too close to the end of the summertime. But this year, when it's been really warm in the UK, I have loved wearing these shorts. I love the bright pink color, but I felt like it would probably be good to make some kind of shorts that are maybe a little bit less out there, that might be a little bit more versatile in my wardrobe, and also potentially some shorts that I could possibly wear to work. The cutoffs with the frayed edge is not really going to be work appropriate for me. But I thought a pair of Jenny shorts in the right fabric could work. As I was making my Jenny overalls, I did a lot of work on the fit as well. I did a whole video just on how I got those to fit me really well, and I love the way that they fit in the end, so I felt like actually I've done the hard part, getting the trousers to fit. Now just to make them again as shorts should be hopefully a pretty straightforward project. I really love the sort of simplicity and sleek look of these pair of shorts. There are some darts in the back that give really nice shaping around the sort of lower back and bum area. There's some cute round-edged pockets as well on the bum, really good size pockets as well. There's also some really great deep side seam pockets, and this actually closes with a lapped zipper on the side. You have the option of having just a one lapped zipper and button closure on just one hip, or you can have it on both sides. And I think a lot of that just depends on your own personal proportions. When I made the overalls before and I just tried them on with just the zipper on one side unzipped and the other one closed, I can get them on and off, but it's definitely a bit of a squeeze, and it's just a lot easier to be able to open up both sides to get these things on and off really easily. And I think that's just for me because my waist is quite a lot smaller than my hips. My proportions there are quite different. So I think if you're probably have a little bit of a closer hip to waist ratio, then you don't necessarily have to be getting a zipper in both sides, but I also kind of like the symmetry of having a zipper on each side as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with these. Because I'm hoping to be able to wear these for work, I will also make sure that I don't make them too short. When I was picking the fabric for these, I wanted to try and pick a color that I thought would be quite neutral, that would go with a lot of things. I wanted to be able to wear them theoretically with tank tops and t-shirts, but also be able to wear them with more kind of dressier shirts for work. I wanted to go with something a little bit heavier weight because I feel like they'd be a bit more hard wearing throughout the daytime as I'm wearing them, and I decided to go for a 7.9 ounce Robert Kaufman cotton twill. This fabric I got from Sister Mintaka. I didn't mention the previous one. I actually bought it from the Fabric Godmother. You can buy that fabric from other shops, but I wanted to support the designer of the fabric, so I bought it directly from Fabric Godmother. But this one came from Sister Mintaka. It kind of just ends up being quite like a navy blue. I will say it's a bit lighter than a navy blue, and it is actually called smoke blue. So it's meant to be slightly gray blue. I think it is a little bit more of a truer blue than I was expecting from the photos. I think I was expecting more of a gray tinge there, but I do think that this color will go with lots of things. It's not that dissimilar from like a denim blue, I will say, probably a little bit darker, maybe like a dark denim, because you can get different shades obviously of that kind of indigo. But yeah, I think this one will work out really cute, and I think they're going to be a definite staple in my summer wardrobe. The next couple of projects I want to tell you about I'm particularly excited about because these are hopefully going to be my entries for Ankara Appreciation Week. You might have heard of it last year. This was a sewing challenge set up last year by Juliet Uzor and Lena King. If you don't think you know Juliet Uzor, you almost probably do know her. She is a big name in the sewing world. She's got an Instagram channel, a YouTube channel, she's got a blog, but you will most likely know her as one of the previous winners of the Great British Sewing Bee. She is so inspiring with all of her makes. I absolutely love everything she makes, and she makes a lot of stuff with Ankara fabric. She's also got some great videos on her YouTube channel talking about the history of Ankara fabric, lots of tips about how to work with it, lists of where you can buy Ankara fabric to know that you're getting good quality stuff, what to look out for, what kind of patterns go well for Ankara fabric. Lena King, who hosts this challenge with Juliet, also has a blog, and she is that Lena King over on Instagram. So you do want to definitely check her stuff out as well for some really incredible Ankara fabric inspiration. One more person I want to mention as well is Montoya Mayo, who has a YouTube channel. She is over on Instagram, and I believe she has a blog as well, so I'll put a link to that if I can find it. But she has a lot of really incredible garments that she has made in not only Ankara fabric, but also kente cloth, mud cloth, really honestly beautiful stuff, so you will want to check those out as well. So I feel like I probably need to just spend a little bit of time telling you what Ankara fabric is. If you're not familiar with the term Ankara fabric, it is also called African wax print fabric, but you'll probably know what I mean if you don't know those names just when I show you some of the images. This is fabric that is generally made in 100% cotton, and you get these really incredible designs with wax printing. Ankara fabrics, I would say, are known to be very popular in West Africa, but I honestly think that they are popular all around the world. I've definitely seen them lots in the UK, lots in the US when I lived there as well. So I think they are most likely going to be familiar to anyone watching this video. So you can recognize these fabrics not only for the bright, bold, vibrant colors, but also for the kinds of designs. There's often a lot of geometric designs, a lot of floral, a lot of just cool lines and shapes repeating on them, often quite large scale as well, though there are some smaller scale things as well. Now, I mentioned that Juliet and Lena set up Ankara Appreciation Week sewing challenge on Instagram last year. I didn't actually take part last year, and that was just because by the time I found out about it, I didn't really feel like I had time to source the fabric, wash the fabric, and sew it up in time for the challenge. But this year, Juliet has dropped some little hints that it's going to be coming soon. They have announced that Ankara Appreciation Week is going to be from the 12th to the 18th of July this year, so hopefully that gives you a little bit of time to get some Ankara fabric if you want to take part in it. I will put some links down below so that you can check her out in all those places, particularly if you want to find out a little bit more about this challenge. I feel like the hardest part for me was finding the right colors for me with this kind of fabric. There is a lot of really incredible, bold, beautiful colors for these kinds of fabrics, and it's one of these things where as much as I absolutely love looking at them, I don't feel like they would work well with my personal coloring, my own hair color, skin tone, eye color. I just didn't feel like they were going to suit me. So I did hunt quite a bit, but I managed to find two beautiful Ankara fabrics that I'm so excited about. For the first one, I'm planning to make the Betty dress by Sew Over It. The Betty dress is a classic vintage fit and flare style dress. There are classic side darts, there are some waist darts at the front and at the back to give you some really nice shaping in the waist and at the bust, and then it flares out to a full circle skirt at the bottom. I have made a lot of these fit and flare style dresses in the past, and I feel like they really suit my figure, but I haven't made one in quite a few years, so it'll be fun to make another one. Now let me show you the fabric. So this beautiful fabric has got these incredible, huge scale flowers on them. I've not ever worn anything with this big of a scale. I feel like these colors are definitely in my kind of color palette of stuff that I would make, so I'm hoping that it should work and I can pull it off. But I think it's just so fun and so vibrant. The colors are incredible. Because of the nature of this fabric, it's got this waxy coating. It's not like it feels super waxy, but you can feel that there's a bit more structure to it. And when you use it and sort of shape it, it really holds its shape. So I think that it will work really well for that big full circle skirt, and I'm hoping that's going to look like it's got a whole lot of volume to it. I think it's going to turn out really fun. This fabric I bought from a shop called Middlesex Textiles. I bought it online. I will say that it's pretty surprisingly inexpensive, this kind of fabric. I mean, there are different ranges. I went for kind of a mid-range, not the most expensive, but not the most cheap. I managed to get 6 yards of this for £35, which I think is pretty good going. But this one did also have an £8 shipping charge, and I thought, okay, well, I'll pay the £8 shipping. In total, it's still not that much for a nice dress. I don't mind paying for it. But it ended up taking like almost a week to get to me, which was not great considering the shipping charge. I think they are having some issues in their shop with the shipping, and they did mention that, but it was just a little disappointing considering I paid the extra for the shipping, didn't have an option for cheaper shipping, and it still took a while to get to me. So just as a heads up, if you're ordering from Middlesex Textiles, order sooner rather than later if you want to make sure you have this in time for Ankara Appreciation Week. The next one that I'm planning to make with my other Ankara fabric is the Patti pocket skirt by Amy Nicole Studio. Amy Nicole actually designs for the petite sewist, so she has petite patterns. I'm not petite, I'm 5'6", but I feel like I can adapt it and I will make it work for me because I really love the look of this skirt. I think the design of this skirt is going to work really well for this kind of fabric. It's got these nice big pleats at the front, these ginormous pockets at the front as well, and the back has got these cute kind of, I would call it like a double box pleat. There's probably a better term for that, but that's what it looks like to me. Super cute, and I think would work really well with this more structured kind of fabric. I love as well that it's got these nice big wide panels, so I feel like I'll be able to show off the fabric really well with this as well. It is very high-waisted with an invisible zipper at the side. I might just lower the waist a little bit because I don't necessarily want it quite as high. I have actually seen somebody who used Ankara fabric on one of these skirts and it looked stunning, so I feel pretty confident going in with this one. Now this fabric is actually the one that I am the most excited about. I'm sure you can see why. It has this really wild, it almost kind of looks like feathers or leaves, the design of this. But it's very mesmerizing, possibly a little bit optical illusion-y. The colors are just so great. Such a great sort of pairing of colors together. When I hung this up after I hand washed it, after I got it, it was hanging up in my bedroom, and I would just find myself staring at it for ages because it is just like, it catches the eye, and you're trying to work out what's going on with these different lines and curves and twists and turns. I really love this fabric. I wanted this one straight away. This was the one that I most wanted, but I wasn't too sure if the colors would be a little bit less suitable for my skin tone, so I thought a skirt is fine. It doesn't have to be that close to my face. I can definitely pull it off as a skirt. Now that I have it, I wish I had bought more of it because I really love it and I want more than this skirt, but that's okay. There will be more fabric. There's always more fabric. This one I got in a 3-meter piece. So this was from Diligent Hands Fabrics, which is an Etsy shop. And you can either buy 3 yards or 6 yards of a lot of their fabrics. This one I had much cheaper shipping fee. This one had a £4 shipping fee and arrived in a few days. So just bear that in mind. I did have a speedier shipping process with Diligent Hands fabric and a lower shipping price. If you want to see more examples of garments sewn with this kind of fabric, head over to Instagram and look at the hashtag #SewAnkaraFabric and also hashtag Ankara Appreciation Week to see a lot of things that people made last year. The next one I want to tell you about came from my Me Made May reflections again. During this month of May, one of the things that I gravitated towards and really enjoyed wearing were my jumpsuits. I have 3 or 4 jumpsuits, I believe, but I feel like whenever I wear them, they are really fun, stylish, cool, comfortable, and I wanted to make another one. So I'm going to be making a jumpsuit that I have made before, the Sallie jumpsuit by Closet Core Patterns. This one is designed to be for a stretchy jersey fabric. The first version I made in this, I made in a viscose jersey fabric, which worked really well. As you can hopefully see from the top bodice, you get this really nice blousing effect at the elastic waist channel. There is a 1-piece front and back bodice, which is actually the same pattern piece. In my version, I did a full bust adjustment, so my front piece is actually different from the back. But if you don't need to do a full bust adjustment, it's 1 pattern piece for the bodice, and you use the front and back is the same, and you use the same piece to line it fully on the inside of the bodice as well. It's got this really nice V-neck at the front and at the back. I did slightly shorten the V, I believe, on this one because I didn't want it to be too low cut for myself, but you could also have quite a nice dramatic deep V both at the front and the back. There's also a tie at the shoulders, which is how you get this on and off, and there's just a little dropped short sleeve there, so it's all one continuous piece in the bodice. This jumpsuit also has some really nice deep side slit pockets as well. I had originally thought that I wanted to do a floral print version of this jumpsuit, which I might still do one day. But then I was at work recently and I spotted this total stranger who was wearing a mustard yellow jumpsuit, and she looked so cool. The jumpsuit looked amazing on her, and it really made me think, maybe I just want a nice solid colored but a bright summery feeling color for this jumpsuit. I've been tempted to make this jumpsuit in a tencel jersey because I had recently made a dress, the dress that I happen to be wearing today, not a coincidence. This is a beautiful tencel jersey fabric. As you can see, it's got this really wonderful drape to it, but it's super soft and so comfortable. It's softer than viscose jersey, definitely. So I'm a big fan of this kind of fabric and thought if I could find something in that kind of fabric, it would really just tick all the boxes. As much as I love mustard yellow, and I would have loved to be able to pull off that jumpsuit that that woman was wearing, mustard yellow is not my color. It's not a good one for me. I look totally washed out in it, but I wanted to find a color that was in that same avenue of colors, at least in my own mind. And I ended up getting this tencel jersey fabric from Guthrie and Ghani. It's hard to know how the color's gonna come across. I think it looks like it's pretty good, to be honest. I would call this like a burnt orange color. Again, because it's this tencel jersey, super drapey, really nice body to it. That's one of the things I like about the tencel jersey as well, is it's not really lightweight, it's more of a medium weight. And I think that's going to be really fun in the jumpsuit. It will really have a bit of movement in the trouser because it's got this really nice wide leg trouser. I think it will really swing around with me, and I'm thinking of doing a more cropped version for this one, maybe about kind of mid-calf, and I think it will be really summery and vibrant and light and fun to wear. I wonder if you'll see what I mean. This isn't mustard yellow, but I feel like it's in that color palette and it would go well with the mustard yellow. So this was kind of the closest I felt I could go to the jumpsuit that I saw. And honestly, guys, this, oh, it is so soft, so silky, lovely to feel. If you have not worked with tencel jersey before, you need to give it a go. It is a pricier fabric, but it is such beautiful quality. It is worth it. One thing that I've been wanting to incorporate into my wardrobe is a lightweight jacket. I've been looking around for different jacket patterns for a while now because I've been conscious that I don't actually have any lightweight summery kind of jackets, but I feel like it would be something that would be really useful to have. I've been really tempted to make like a blazer, but I feel like I didn't necessarily want something quite so dressy, but I did want to have something that I felt like I could potentially pair with things for work. I've decided to go ahead and make the Pona jacket by Helen's Closet Patterns. I did look at this jacket a lot when it first came out and initially didn't really think it was going to be particularly for me. I really want to have something that I could potentially wear over a dress or I could wear with a t-shirt. I want to have something that's a little bit in that in-between that can move between casual and dressy. So I felt like this one didn't particularly work for that, though I did like the look and the style of it. As you can see, it's kind of like an oversized, relaxed blazer kind of look. So there is definitely a bit more of a casual element to it than like a proper fitted blazer, but I still wasn't quite sure it was just a little bit too dressy for my liking. It is designed to be worn open, but on the Helen's Closet blog, she also shows you a way to do a hack just to make a waist tie, which I probably would do. Even though I intend to mostly wear it open, it's just good to have the option of just closing it up if it gets a little bit chilly, and that would also add a little bit of shaping to the waist. I think the samples that were used in the photo shoot were made in like a dressier fabric than what I would be after. Definitely there is some tencel twill in there for sure. I think they look really great, but not necessarily what I was aiming for in a jacket for myself. And then Me Made May came along. That month was very inspiring for me, and this one didn't come from my own reflections, but actually from inspiration from somebody else on Instagram. So I follow somebody called Seam Ripstress. Not sure if I'm saying it exactly right. I think it's Seam Ripstress. That's kind of how it flows in my mind. She made a gorgeous mustard yellow linen Pona jacket that really, for me, was in that perfect balance of it looked really cool and put together, but also really relaxed. And I really, at that point, decided a linen Pona, that is what I need for my summer wardrobe. When I was picking the color of the linen, I really wanted to make sure that I chose something that I could be able to wear and pair with all kinds of different things. And one color that I don't actually have a ton of in my wardrobe is black, but black goes with everything. So I thought black linen would actually be a pretty good option. So I ended up buying this fabric from Guthrie & Ghani. It's a straight up 100% black linen, probably not gonna show up terribly well on camera because it's black. You know what linen looks like. You know what black linen looks like. I'm sure you can imagine what this is. This is a, I would say, light to medium weight linen fabric. I think it will work really well for the jacket, and I do think it will go with so much, pretty much everything in my wardrobe. Very much hoping I can get away with wearing it with dressier and less dressy things. Watch this space, we'll see how it goes, but I'm hopeful that it will be the jacket that I need in my life. Now the last thing I'm going to tell you about is almost more of a concept of something. I was thinking of putting together some videos about making some sheared dresses and skirts because that is something that I've done over the years for myself. I feel like they're really easy to self-draft, to make up. There's quite a few patterns out there and tutorials and videos and blog posts about how to make your own sheared dress and skirt. So I'm not entirely sure that I need to necessarily do a whole video. I do want to do a video just showing how to use shearing elastic for your bobbin in both a top loading and a front loading sewing machine because I have one of each and it's not the same. And I know when I was trying to work out how to use shearing elastic on my machine, I had to do a lot of hunting around to find the right video for that. So I feel like if I can do a video that covers both, hopefully that would be really nice and easy and accessible for people who want to use shearing elastic on their sewing machines. As far as showing people how I design my own, I may do a really quick run through of how I worked out the dimensions of my pieces and the different designs that I chose, but I feel like this kind of thing, the joy of it is you can kind of really make it your own and you can do what you want with these things because it is just basically like rectangles that you sew into tubes. And then for me, I'm going to be doing different tiers on some of them. Let me show you the fabric and I can get into a little bit more of the specifics. The first fabric is this viscose poplin. This is a really pretty floral print viscose poplin. This came from Lamazi Fabrics. I really do love bright colors, bright flowers on a navy background. So this is very much my kind of fabric. Viscose poplin, I would say it does have kind of the movement and the drape of viscose, but not maybe quite as much as the super lightweight, like say the first one that I showed you before, the viscose crepe that I showed you, that was the Fabric Godmother Italian tile print. It's more of a tighter weave, I would say. It feels a little bit more robust probably, but what I was thinking with this one is doing a dress. So I would have shearing from kind of the top of the bodice to round about my natural waist, and then it would be fuller from that point on, and I would add 1, 2, maybe 3 gathered tiers underneath. I haven't decided 100% on the details. I also wanted to add a thick strap with a little ruffle on there. Again, this kind of thing I feel like is so easy to just play around with the dimensions, the proportions that you want, the kind of different tiers and layers that you want, straps, no straps. I feel like you can just mess around with this stuff really well. So I will do a little bit of explaining how I do it once I work out exactly what I'm going to do, but this is going to be a nice summery dress. And I think I'll go for a midi length for that one. The next one is a viscose crepe. So this is a viscose crepe in a really fun black with white polka dots. This one came from Sew Me Sunshine. Viscose crepe, I don't know if you'll be able to see, has a bit of a kind of a wave to the fabric, so it's a bit of a crinkly effect on there. This one has a lot more bounce in body, and I feel like this one will really kind of move around a lot when I'm wearing it. My plan is to make a skirt with this one. So the idea with this is that I'm going to make it fitted from my waist down to the fullest part of my hip, and then it will be full from that point. Again, I'll add some tiered gathers onto it definitely, some like gathered tiers, but I don't know quite how many or how wide the different sections are, but I'm going to have fun playing around with it. For this one, I'm planning to make something that I could wear either as a dress or lower down as a skirt. So I'm going to do some kind of removable strap. Watch this space. I've got a few ideas, but I need to see how it works. But I want to have a strap that I can use just to cover my bra strap up that I can then undo when I want to pull it down and wear it as a skirt. So I'll need to do a little bit of a balance between how wide I want that sheared section to be, because I want to make sure that it is fitted certainly from the top of the bodice to close to my waist, but then when I pull it down as a skirt, I want it to be fitted from my waist down to ideally the fullest part of my hip. So I'm going to have to play around with how wide those sections need to be compared to each other. And then the idea will be that when I'm wearing it as a dress, it will be quite short, kind of above the knee. But when I pull it down as the skirt, it will be a maxi length skirt. I think for this one, I will just have it sort of the gathered sheared section at the top, which is then a bit more full until it gets just to a little ruffle at the bottom. I'm not going to have necessarily multiple tiers down there. I think I just want to have one kind of wider gather slash ruffle right at the end. And I did want to design one to be worn as just a skirt, and I have chosen this double gauze fabric. So this is cotton double gauze that I got from Sew Me Sunshine. I've got these 2 fun shades that I'm planning to color block. So the idea is I'm going to have different layers with gathers, and I'm going to alternate the 2 colors as I go down. I really thought it would be fun to use a cotton fabric, particularly double gauze fabric, because it doesn't have as much of the sort of drapey qualities of the viscose fabrics that I'm using. It will have quite a different effect with the shearing and with the gathers, and I thought it would be fun to show you how different types of fabrics can work. I think they'll all work really well. They'll just have a slightly different look in the end. I'm also hoping that I will have enough of these fabrics left over that I can make a matching top, so having some matching separates would be really cool. And I was thinking of making the Ashton top by Helen's Closet Patterns. That is originally designed as a tank top. It's a very boxy shape, slightly cropped tank top, but there is also a sleeve expansion pack where you can add on sleeves, and I feel like I'm really tempted by that. I think she calls it like a pedal sleeve, which has 2 sections that crisscross on the shoulder seam. and I feel like that gives me even more opportunity to kind of color block on there. I will color block the top if I manage to do it. I'll just have a little band of one of the colors down at the bottom, but it'll be fun to play around with that with the color blocking and see what design I come up with. The good thing about that obviously is then I also have a skirt and a top that I can pair with other things already in my wardrobe. I really feel like that was a bumper sewing plans video, so thank you for sticking to the end if you did. I hope I have inspired you to get a little bit of summer sewing going as well. Let me know what you are planning to make this summer, and you know, I might sneak a few more ideas in there if I get the inspiration, or I can always plan for later, right? There's always more time. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, please do consider subscribing if you enjoyed today's video. It is also really helpful if you can give me a little thumbs up, like down below. It just boosts my video up on other people's feeds, so they're more likely to find my channel. I do really love getting your comments as well. It is always really fun to get to have that interaction, which I wasn't necessarily expecting from this channel. And it's nice to actually be able to communicate two ways with the people who are watching my videos. So please leave a comment if you want to say hi, let me know that you're there, or have a chat about any of the things that I've talked about today. Let me know too if you are planning to take part in Ankara Appreciation Week. I'm really looking forward to see what everybody makes in this gorgeous fabric. I hope you're all doing really well out there, and I really hope to see you again soon. Bye!